I have no idea what happened with the audio, but the truth is that it's fine. You can hear it. If you have any questions because of that, just feel free to ask. It should have worked, but something happened, and that just weird. Anyways, I'll fix that for next time.
What if today we did something different? Or what if today we did something that is not different at all? Well, whatever we do and whatever I'm planning to do, it will be connected to what if scenarios. And I'm pretty sure that this could have been introduced in a very different way that actually makes sense, but then again, this is a very cheap show. So, without further ado, let's jump in and do the thing. Let's look at the sentence and scream. Here I have the document open, and as you can see, I can scroll down to see what was going on before. All the comments were resolved, except this one, because I just wanted to leave this here as a reminder that it is quite complicated to deal with definite conjugation. And also, I'd like to thank everyone for commenting and asking questions. That is a lot of fun. So today, let's just do this. The sentence that we are aiming to translate today is, what if I win the lottery? And that part is pretty boring, but this one, not. So what's the problem with that sentence, you might ask? Well, the what if part, as you might have guessed already, is completely different in Hungarian than in English. English tends to simplify things. In the minds of the English-speaking people, when you connect two words, that's mostly it. You don't need to do anything else. So, when you create a scenario where you say, what if there is nothing there, nothing else that is needed? But in Hungarian, it's not enough. Everything has to be a proper, full-blown expression. You can't just run around saying half-heartedly put together things. It needs to be perhaps conjugated, or at least put into a form that is agreed by the grammar and all the people. Let's start with the second part of the sentence, and then we'll move on to the what if part, because the second part is a lot easier. Second part, you say? Well, let's bring up Google Translate. Win is win. What? I don't know what I'm doing. So, it's a verb. It is clear from the placement of the word in the sentence. So, nyer or use. I'm gonna go with nyer because I already know the solution, but you can go with either. Just after the whole thing, don't forget to use Google or something else to find out whether that makes sense. I'll get to that later. Now, I should be incorporated in this. Verbix, it's relatively easy. And now we have to decide whether this, the lottery itself, is definite, like this, or indefinite. Well, because it's the lottery, and we all know about the lottery itself, it's not just one out of many, then it is definite. Of course, it's present, so nyerem. As a Hungarian, of course, I would love to put the meg prefix in there because implies that I complete this action. So the whole thing is all about actually winning the lottery, not just sort of going halfway through with it. And then let's go with the lottery, which is lotto. With A that you might be familiar with, but you have to remember that this is the object of the sentence. You can't just go and leave it there. You need to put the T at the end of every single object. In this case, there is only one object, so there we go. And now to this part. Let's try if. Ha seems to be okay, and then what, which is either me or meet or, well, And then you might think that that's enough. Is it though? Well, probably not, because I spent like a million minutes explaining how different it will be. So now it's time to figure out what to do with this. And the truth is that I would love to give you some sort of really easy explanation on how to create such things, but the problem is that either you know this and aware of what happens here, or you're not, and you don't know. So now, after this video, hopefully you will know it for life. The truth is that it's relatively easy if you have the mind of a Hungarian. In the mind of a Hungarian, this sentence would need something like what happens if, or what would it be like if we won the lottery, or if I win the lottery. And that's what we should follow. Now, Hungarian features here, most of the time, the word for existence, to be more precise. So if you put the to be in there, then it solves the problem. So you could imagine it as, what is life if something happens? That is probably the closest I can get with trying to explain what happens in the mind of a Hungarian when it comes to this kind of sentence. So you need the to be in there, and that makes this expression, the what if, complete. So let's do it. But where to find to be? What if I put it here? That's very amateurish, because if I put Lenny there, that is not the proper verb, and with that we don't want to butcher the language like this. So I guess that maybe Verbix would provide us with something if we put the right word into it. And it says here that there are only 23 irregular verbs in Hungarian, which is a lot fewer than in English, but like you said, there are many different forms of the verb, but to be is there. Now, like I said before, it is a rule in Hungarian that a verb in the dictionary is always in third person form. Never has the ni ending. Let me put it there. That means Lenny would never be a good option here, because we always need to conjugate the verb. So let's go with one. And then of course we need to find out which of these are needed. I think that past or future or imperative or whatever, it doesn't really matter. That's not a good solution. It's probably present, because that part is present, although this in English doesn't really have a tense. But I assume that it is present, which is the correct solution, by the way. However, I could ask whether we need that in the indefinite or the definite version, and luckily for us, this is always indefinite. So part one done, finished. But which of these persons and thingies? Is it first person? Probably not. Second, no. And third, yeah. It's much like when you talk about time in English or the weather, you'd say it as opposed to the weather, but it's always third person. Mi van, ha megnyerem a lottót? Would that make sense? What if I put that into Google? And wow, okay, it's pretty good. Now, as you can see, even though most of this could be regarded as gibberish, here there is some sort of alternative, and it starts with mi van, which is correct, and of course the comma, that separates parts of the sentence. A nyerek a lottón. And that is something quite unique to Hungarian, and it does not really make sense in English. Although admittedly anything can be stretched, but winning on the lottery, what we mean by that, Hungarians, is that we don't win the lottery. You're not going to get hold of the firm or company or institution that runs the whole business. You just get the prize of the lottery. So when we say win on the lottery, meaning that winning in that game something, that it is the prize, or that is the prize. So there we go. That's the proper translation of the sentence. The second one. Question: would people understand the first one? Yeah. Would it be really a stretch and weird and people would try to chase you away? No, it's fine. Sometimes we do say that. But again, it's sort of like saying something in English that is understandable. For instance, saying, I understand, as opposed to, yeah, that makes sense, or yeah, I got it, or something like that. It's just a way of saying things, how we choose to say things or react in a situation. I guess for today that's the end. Happy commenting in the document. I link it in the description as usual, and hopefully it will be useful in the not the wrong run, but the long run for you. Until next time, which is probably tomorrow, enjoy life, be good, and goodbye. And also thanks for watching.